Hey, I'm Scott from Cognition AI, and today I'm really excited to introduce you to Devin, the first AI software engineer. Let me show you an example of Devin in action. I'm going to ask Devin to benchmark the performance of Llama on a couple different API providers. From now on, Devin is in the driver's seat. First, Devin makes a step-by-step plan of how to tackle the problem. After that, it builds the whole project using all the same tools that a human software engineer would use. Devin has its own command line, its own code editor, and even its own browser. In this case, Devin decides to use the browser to pull up API documentation so that it can read up and learn how to plug into each of these APIs. Here, Devin runs into an unexpected error. Devin actually decides to add a debugging print statement, reruns the code with the debugging print statement, and then uses the error in the logs to figure out how to fix the bug. Finally, Devin decides to build and deploy a website with full styling as the visualization. You can see the website here. All of this is possible today because of the advancements that we've made in both reasoning and long-term planning. It's a really hard problem, and we've only just started, but we're super excited about the progress that we've made so far. In the meantime, if you'd like to try out Devin on your own real-world tasks, send us a request below, and we'd be happy to.
So there is a recent announcement from this company called Cognition Labs, and they announced something that actually did shock the entire industry as it's the first AI software engineer. You can see right here, it says, today we're excited to introduce Devin, the first AI software engineer. Devin is the new state-of-the-art on the bench coding. Benchmark has successfully passed practical engineering interviews from leading AI companies and has even completed real jobs on Upwork. Devin is an autonomous agent that solves engineering tasks through the use of its own shell code editor and web browser when evaluated on the SWE benchmark, which asks an AI to resolve GitHub issues found in real-world open source projects. Devin correctly resolves 13.86% of the issues unassisted, far exceeding the previous state-of-the-art model performance of 1.96% unassisted and 4.8% assisted. Check out what Devin can do in the thread below. So let's take a look at some of the demo videos they showed us, because honestly, it is quite impressive on what this can really do.
Hey, I'm Neil, and I wanted to show you an example of Devin, our AI software engineer, helping me fix a bug. So I've been using this repo called SymPy. SymPy is an algebra system written in Python. And I noticed this issue where when you take the log of a fraction, you get zoo, which is a type of infinity. So that's definitely wrong, but instead of trying to figure this out myself, I just asked Devin to take a look. Devin immediately jumps in, sets up the repo, and is able to reproduce that same zoo output. Devin then figures out the right part of the code and adds print statements in order to figure out what the cause of this issue is. And we can see here that the cause is that integer division leads to a 0, and then we take the log of 0. So based on that, Devin's able to fix the issue in the code by replacing that integer division with true division, and then cleans up the debug output and verifies that the result is what we want. And then Devin even runs the test in the repo as well to make sure nothing else is broken. So that was great. Saved me a ton of time. So thank you, Devin.
Hey everyone, my name is Sarah, and I'm going to show you how Devin, our AI software engineer, can autonomously learn from a blog post. Within a few minutes, Devin successfully generated this desktop background image for me with my name on it. So all I had to do was send this blog post in a message to Devin. From there, Devin actually does all the work for me, starting with reading this blog post and figuring out how to run the code. In a couple of minutes, Devin's actually made a lot of progress. And if we jump to the middle here, you can see that Devin's been able to find and fix some edge cases and bugs that the blog post did not cover for me. And if we jump to the end, we can see that Devin sends me the final result, which I love. I also got 2 bonus images. here and here. So let me know if you guys see anything hidden in these.
Hey, I'm Tony, an engineer at Cognition. I helped build Devin, and now Devin helps me too. Today at work, I wanted to run a bunch of commands at once and be able to track their status on one screen. I found an open source tool named mprox to do this. Here it is right here. Looks like it all finished, but the status is way too vague. I don't know which ones failed, they all just say down. I really want to improve the UX here, but I'm not familiar with the code at all, so I had Devin, my AI software engineer, help me. Looks like this person right here had the same issue. So all I gave Devin was the link to the issue and asked Devin to fix it. You can see me make the request right here on the left. Let's see what Devin did. On the right, we can track Devin's work and watch Devin jump from tool to tool. First, Devin clones the repository using the shell, then reads the README in an editor to learn how to set up the code. Then goes back to the shell to install the required dependencies. Devin also opens up a web browser to take a look at the issue. Now, Devin starts coding. At some point, Devin even opens up some Rust documentation to debug a compiler error. Finally, Devin finishes the task and reports a summary of the changes that were made. Let's see if the changes worked. I have Devin's code right here. Looks like it worked. The third command succeeded. I can even see the status codes. Here's all the code that Devin wrote for this change. Thanks, Devin.
Hi, I'm Adyan, and today I felt like playing the game of life, so I asked Devin to implement it for me. Devin started by creating a new React application using the shell, and then it started writing some code through its editor. After that, it deployed the app through Netlify. Let's check it out. That seems nice, but there's a lot more features which I want to add. So let's ask Devin to do this one at a time. I want the words Devin to be written at the initialization screen instead of it being random. Then I want the word to be slightly bigger and the frame rate to be faster. I also want him to fix a bug where the screen gets freezed after 3 seconds. Let's see the progress Devin has made so far. We can see the diff, and the last diff shows that Devin just fixed the bug where the screen gets frozen after 3 seconds. This seems reasonable to me, so let's move on. Next, I want Devin to increase the frame rate after 10 seconds and also to make the website responsive to different window sizes. I also wanted to make it interactive so that when I click my mouse somewhere, it should spawn a new block. Let's check out what Devin has made so far. It started with Devin, which is what we asked for, and when I click something, it creates a new block as well. That's fun. Let's play around with it. Well, that was my evening.
Hey, I'm Andrew, an engineer at Cognition, and I wanted to share a pretty amazing experience I had with Devin. So I maintain this big open source repository, which contains a lot of different algorithms used for competitive programming. A lot of people use it, and a few weeks ago, my friend texted me that there was actually a bug in one of the implementations. The implementation wasn't quite right when the inputs weren't relatively prime. I kind of glossed over that case when I was implementing it, so I never really thought about it. So I implemented a quick fix, and then I thought that I should test it, but I actually never really got around to writing any test cases. So I thought, if I don't want to do it, I should just ask Devin to do it instead. So I gave Devin the repository, asked Devin to just check it out and start working on it. So Devin, found the right repository, checked it out, found all files that are in the repository. And then I told Devin what test case I wanted him to write. I just told Devin, these are the inputs, and then try checking for these conditions for me. So Devin wrote the test without too much trouble. Devin just looked around to understand what exactly the test should look like and what exactly the interfaces were. And with this, Devin ran the tests, ran into a quick hiccup, which was a compiler, but Devin is able to solve those very effectively and just added an extra include to fix that. And then was done running this initial test. So then I asked Devin to actually expand the test a little bit. Instead of just testing this one input, I wanted Devin to test it on all inputs. So just kind of the brute force testing strategy. I use this a lot in my tests, and I just wanted Devin to implement it so that I didn't have to worry about it. So Devin went and rewrote the test function to use 4 nested for loops. But this time, after Devin ran the tests, Devin actually found a test failure. And now, if the code were correct, there could be compilers in the test, but the tests seemed really pretty reasonable, so there probably shouldn't be a failure. So Devin went and tried to debug the program for me. So Devin here actually added a print statement to debug the outputs and the inputs to the failing test, reran the tests, and actually found which case was wrong. In this case, these are the inputs, and then the return value was actually -9. And the code I'm running actually should never really return negative values. So Devin realized this and actually went looking in the code that we're trying to test and actually added this line of code that if extra less than 0, extra plus equals plus equals something. And in order to make sure that the return value was actually non-negative. So after fixing this, Devin actually reran the tests, and now I can be confident that my code is correct and I have some tests to prove it. Thanks, Devin.
So there was also something really fascinating that I did see was, of course, the funding, and they said that we are well-funded, including a 21 million series led by Founders Fund, and we're grateful to support this from the industry leaders that they do have. And what's crazy also is that they said by solving reasoning we can unlock new possibilities in a wide range of disciplines. Code is just the beginning. So it seems that this company with Devin, whatever they're building, it seems that it doesn't just seem like it's going to be a software if they've been able to solve the issue with it being able to reason effectively and having this agent autonomously do tasks like this on the internet. I think they can definitely gain a huge market share for the autonomous agent sector, which is going to be booming in the years 2024 and beyond. So I think that this company is very, very well poised to take a decent-sized market share because there aren't really any other tools that we've seen demoed like this that are going to be that well. Now, in addition, we can also see the SWE benchmark, and they talked about how it achieved very, very good results, being the state-of-the-art model. And of course, they said that the performance of Devin on the benchmark is essentially impressive, especially when you consider it to the previous state-of-the-art models achieving a 13.86% resolution for real-world GitHub issues in open-source projects is actually a pretty notable accomplishment, considering the complexity and variety of problems that can occur in such projects. Now, what actually stands out with Devin is that it significantly performs the previous models, and even when those models were given additional information such as the exact files to edit, and this actually suggests that Devin has a more robust understanding of code and the context in which it operates, which allows it to autonomously navigate and fix issues within a code base without explicit directions. Now, moreover, there was something really cool. Devin's ability to perform unassisted is a key differentiator being evaluated on a random 25% subset of the dataset. Indicates that the AI's performance is not tailored to specific type types of problems, but rather generally applicable, which is a desirable trait for an autonomous AI system meant for real-world applications. So what they also did state that was rather fascinating too was that they are going to have a technical report which will provide greater insight into the methods and technologies that enable Devin's advanced capabilities, and it's likely going to be eagerly anticipated by the AI community and the software development, and these results will be a signal of how increasingly valuable AI is going to come in terms of the software engineering community. In conclusion, Devin's arrival heralds a new era in software engineering where AI and human collaboration redefine industry standards As we embark on this exciting journey, it's clear that the possibilities are limitless and the future holds boundless opportunities for innovation and growth. Subscribe for more updates on the latest tech updates.